Rocky's very focused on something that's happening on the path. Hey, Rocky, I gotta go up and get the power bank. I was gonna go up and get it, and then I had to come back here all of a sudden, but now I gotta go get it. All right. Rocky's really watching. He's standing guard. You can see him there. He's standing guard. Hey. I gotta go get the power bank, little man. Yeah, I was gonna get it. Oh. I was gonna get it, and then I took a sudden kind of a weak spell there. I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I come back here in a hurry because I didn't want to throw up in the driveway at the house. But it didn't come to anything. It passed. That sometimes happens. That's quite a picture there, eh? Look at that. Isn't that nice? Wowzers. That's quite beautiful. Yeah, I like that. All right. Anyway, gotta go get the power bank. My goodness. Gotta go get the power bank. I hate it when that happens. Fortunately, it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens occasionally to me. I've got some pretty serious plumbing problems. I do, and they come on in different forms. A bladder is atrophied, and I got a bunch of other problems too. Anyway, everybody deals with something, eh? I see people dealing with cancer and terrible heart problems, like my friend here, whose family owns this property, that he's dealing with. And I know that it could be so much worse than anything I have to deal with. And really, for a man who's not that far away from 60 myself, I'm 57 now, and has led the kind of a life I've led. I've had a very hard life. I haven't been a drinker or a doper or anything like that, but I've had a life where I've been subjected to a lot of really bad things, a lot of hardship, a lot of toxic things, and a lot of toxic people too, actually. And all things considered, I'm in pretty good shape for a guy who's been through all that. So there's lots of people go through far less and aren't able to come through it at all, end up just not existing anymore. I better put my window up. I love the old crank windows, I'll tell you. This truck, I've never had an issue with the windows in this truck. It's just never been a problem. Making sure my keys aren't in there. I don't like to leave the keys in the truck overnight. You never know, somebody might wander down the driveway someday looking for what they might steal. Look at that, eh? Isn't that nice? Wowzers. All right. Let's grab up the power bank. I'm definitely feeling it anyway, I'll tell you. There's something going on with me. Here we go now. Anyway, I'll be okay. This is not a first time for me. I've been through this before. So I'll be fine. I'll be just fine. I will be. Look at that though, eh? That's just awesome. Very beautiful. Okay, I've got Rocky's treats that I bought him today. Wowzers. Okay, now I better go get the other power bank. I'm recharging here. I'll make a point of not turning the dome light on. I don't really need to. I've got the light from the camera here. Oh, yeah, 98% charge. That's all right. That's close enough to 100. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. Anyway, that's it. I gotta get the power bank up to the camper and get it reinstalled. Get my refrigerator plugged back in. I've still got a little bit more work to do on these gardens, but I'm not going to worry about it tonight or tomorrow. I have lots of work to do at my camp tomorrow. And then on Monday, I'm going to be away half the day helping a man remove the windows from his house and clean everything and put them back. And they're big windows. They're the big, like 6 foot high, old wooden windows. It's an old stone house, beautiful house. I'm a little nervous about that because, you know, if I end up screwing up and breaking something, we can't just run to Canadian Tire and buy a new window for that house, you know. Plus, this guy is an awful nice man. He's an awful good man, really. I have a great deal of respect for him. But he's going to be guiding me through the process, because this isn't something that I've done before. And this is something with his home, you know, too. He's very particular about his home. And he gets a little exasperated with me sometimes because I don't always understand what he wants me to do. And he's very precise about how he wants it done, too. And I don't always understand what he's saying, but he's explaining it to me. There's a bit of a communication problem sometimes. So, yeah. So for that reason, pardon my horrible camera work, there's the view though. There's my camp there. For that reason, it makes things kind of stressful sometimes, you know. It really does. So, and I mean, with these windows, he's going to be especially nervous because there's a lot at stake. If one of them gets broken or damaged, it's going to be an expensive ordeal to either repair or replace it. And so, understandably, he's going to be on edge when we're doing that job. He's going to be on edge. Oh, there's Rocky. He waited for me on the path, I guess. Okay, Rocky. Keep moving, sweetie. Oh, don't stop. Keep going. He's quite a cat, I'll tell you. He's really good to me. He is. Anyway, okay, you keep moving. Don't stop. I gotta park the lawnmower, the wheelbarrow. I gotta park the wheelbarrow. Anyway, sometimes there's a bit of a communication problem between myself and him, and that aggravates things. So I am a little bit nervous. I have a feeling Monday's going to be kind of a tough day, but it's a few hours of work, and the guy needs some help to do it. He can't do it on his own, and you know, it's just really nobody can do that job on their own, at least not safely. If I was trying to do it on my own, I couldn't either. Really, nobody can. It really is a two-man job. This fellow that I was working for this week, he told me a kind of a comical story. He's in his 80s, this guy. And I was telling him about the job I'm going to be doing on Monday. And he told me when he was 11 years old. So he was 11 years old back, you know, in the early 50s. And his dad gave him the job of, they had windows like that on their house, the tall 6 foot high wooden framed windows. And he said his dad gave him the job of taking them out and cleaning them and putting them back. And he had to do it by himself, and he was 11 years old, and he was a small 11-year-old too. And he said he wasn't doing too badly. He was struggling with it, but he wasn't doing too badly at first. But then there was this one window. He'd gotten it out and gotten it down and cleaned it, and he was inching it up the ladder a couple of rungs at a time ahead of himself as he went up the ladder so he could put it back. And just then a big gust of wind came and it caught the window, and he was holding on to it. He said it blew him off the ladder with the window, and he said he went through the air with the window and went quite a piece down the driveway from the house and landed. The window landed, and he landed on top of the window, and he said he busted every pane of glass out of it and smashed the wooden frame all to hell. And so that window had to be replaced anyway. And just as this happened, his dad happened to come home. So he come up the driveway and he stopped and, saw what happened. He started to scold him, for saying, well, you broke the window. Like, you smashed every piece of glass out of it and busted the frame and everything. And he told his dad, he said, well, really, this is your fault. And his father looked at him and said, and how do you think this is my fault? And he said, well, he said, you give a little guy like me a job like this, what do you think's going to happen? Anyway, I thought that was kind of a cute story, so I just passed it on anyway. He wasn't wrong. I mean, it's a big job doing something like that. It's a big job. I mean, I'm a grown man, and the other fella I'm working who owns the house is also a grown man, and it'd be a big job for us on Monday. We're only going to work at it for half a day, but that'll be plenty. We're both going to be pretty tired. Now, granted, neither one of us is a spring chicken. He's close to 80 years old, and I'm kind of an old 57. Although, like I say, compared to some, I'm not doing too badly, I guess. There's lots of people my age who have far worse problems than I do. But still, neither one of us is young, really. But still, we are grown men, and there's two of us. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a tough day's work. I don't mind working hard anyway. Hard work doesn't frighten me. I'm a little intimidated just by the idea that I'm probably going to get scolded a lot on Monday because he's going to tell me to put my hand in a certain place or something, and I'm not going to understand, and I'm going to put it in the wrong place, and then he's going to give me shit. That's probably how it's going to be on Monday, and I'm not looking forward to that. But like I say, he's a good guy. He's just very particular, and he's former Royal Corps of Engineers man, so he's very precise. And he has the thing, everything has to be just so, and everything has to be precise, and that was his life for many, many years, eh? And the thing is, when you're doing the kind of work he was doing, if you screw up, people can die. He was going into places, setting up the infrastructure so that people could live in a place, so that an army unit or whatever could go in there and live there, in a place where nobody should have been living, really, in many cases and stuff. So, those are the guys that build the temporary bridges to get the equipment across bodies of water and stuff like that. If they screw up, people die and stuff gets wrecked. So they have to be very precise and very sure of what they're doing. And, that's just in his nature to be that way. And it isn't a bad thing. I'm not knocking the guy for it. I do find it a little stressful sometimes because, frankly, I'm a bit of an idiot. I really am. And so a person has to have a great deal of patience in dealing with me, really. But anyway, all things considered, he has shown a remarkable amount of patience. It's just every so often I think it wears on him that I'm not really understanding completely what he's telling me. how he's telling me to do things or whatever, and he gets a little bit, then he'll get a little short with me, that's all. But it passes. It's just a short little thing, and it passes, and we move on. So it's all good, I guess. I don't really look forward to it when I'm thinking that's what's going to happen, and I am thinking that's going to be that way a bit on Monday. But like I say, we're friends. That's all. We're still friends. It doesn't matter. I like the guy and I respect him, and I'm grateful that he's given me this opportunity to work and to earn. And I'll do the best job I can for him. That's all. And if he gets a little short with me, I'll just swallow my pride and take it, and we'll get through it. And it'll be stressful in the moment, but we'll get through it. That's all, just like we have in the past. Anyway, that's it for now. I've got work to do here tomorrow. I'm going to be my own harsh taskmaster tomorrow. I am. I've got to do more work on that roof. I'm probably going to have to get right up on the roof of the camper, which I hate to do, but I'm probably going to have to in order to access things. I'm going to have to bring the big ladder down here and get right up on the roof of that camper. And I'm going to have the big ladder to access it from the front and be on the roof of the camper to access it from the back. And that's just how I'm going to have to do things. But I'll get it done. If I don't fall down and hurt myself, I'll get it done. That's all. I'm sure I won't fall down and hurt myself. I've had one incident here where it was a little scary since I started building the porch, but that's been it. And that didn't amount to anything in the end. So I'm sure it'll be all right. Anyway, that's it. Okay. Rocky. 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 Rocky, Rocky. What are you doing, sweetie? I don't know what he's doing. You're quite a character, you know. The people over here, the other family members over here that live over this way, there's 2 houses on this property. There's another house on the other side of the barn, and those are also members of the same family who live there. And they're doing some stuff outside tonight. It's a beautiful night, so I suppose they're taking advantage of it to spend some time outside and get some chores done and so on. Just like I'm doing here, just like Rocky and I are doing. Rocky isn't used to hearing the noise from over there at that night, so he's on high alert anyway. I think that's what it is. Anything that's unusual to him, he clues into in a hurry, and then he focuses on it and he pays close attention to it. Anyway, I've got a few more chores to do out here before I go in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And Rocky and I will see you guys a little later. Bye for now.